limp limp interaction 832. There's a few ways that you could start to improve, relieve pain in your ankles. First thing that comes to mind is, well, actually, let's start with passive, right? Because maybe through no fault of your own, your shoes might be creating pain and tension, because if your shoe has a thick sole, right, a sole that prevents you from getting full range of motion in your ankles. If your shoe is too narrow, so it doesn't let your feet spread out and absorb shock, or if your toe box is pointed and narrow, right? If your toes are squeezed together, so you're not getting the ability to have your toes as shock absorbers. For all those three reasons, investing in a minimalist pair of shoes could change your life. And I remember the first time I tested out a pair of Vibrams on a treadmill. I just went for a light jog. I remember it like it was yesterday. And the next day I was so sore I could hardly walk. And what this told me was that that minimalist shoes allowed my feet to go through a deeper range of motion, because I had never felt that much pain from a jog before when I was wearing other shoes. So that's why I started to realize how powerful, right? You think about how many steps you take in a day. Each step you could get stronger or you could get weaker. So anytime that you have the ability to go barefoot in a safe way, I think you want to take advantage of that, or just invest in minimalist shoes. I'm a big fan of these zeroshoes.com. Right, they've got some styles that look great, even if you're going out to a nice dinner or going out on the town. They don't have toes, right? They don't look like some of those goofy minimalist shoes that you see sometimes, right? So these are the only pair of shoes I own. I'm kind of take everything to an extreme, so, and especially minimalism. So I'm not saying that you should do that, but what I'm saying is it allows you to not, right? If you have, there's already so many decisions, right? I'll bring my family into it. Well, maybe not that much. I got a brother who if he's watching this, I know I'm talking about him. He's got so many pairs of shoes, and the reason why Einstein only wore one suit jacket is because it allowed him to not think about what should I wear to be comfortable. So the reason I have only one pair is not only because they're minimalist, but because it allows me to think about other things and not have to worry about every day, what shoes do I need to wear. So I guess I do have some cleats as well, so that I guess that doesn't count, or that counts. Okay, so that's passive, right? Because you invest in a pair of shoes, right? You get a cheap pair of minimalist shoes for between $60 and $80, and that's going to start rehabbing your sore ankles. That's going to strengthen your ankles, right? Because you're going to get better balance. You're going to have better mobility. Your feet are going to be able to spread out, right? So a lot of things will happen just by that, $60 to $80 investment. I think is effortless. It's effortless, and it's going to start helping immediately. The second thing you want to search is Kadour. Put in YouTube Ziani, Ziani, and then put in decrease injury. You're going to see a video by this guy named Kadour Ziani. It's going to say how to decrease injury, something like that. So he's going to show you some of these postures that if you start to get into, they're going to help you start to develop a deeper awareness in your toes, in your feet, in your ankles. So right now the pain in your body is manifesting through ankle pain, but that doesn't mean that it's your ankle's fault. And what I mean by that is, if you start to relieve some tension in your toes, in your knees, in your hips, it'll relieve pain in your ankles. So if you have any type of, right, you can use, right, I'm using a friggin' spool of rope as a rehab tool because it's low to the ground, and it's a good tool for me to, it's easy for me to put right on camera. So I'm here, and I'm just rolling onto that front toe, onto the front toe area, and already I feel this relief of tension in my Achilles and my calf, right? So you're gonna start to feel some tension in that front knee. That's gonna start to build up. It's I forget the name. It's a fluid that you want, right? You want to have fluid in the knee to lubricate that knee joint, and it's gonna lubricate this the toes as well. You could see in my back foot, if you could see that my back foot is rolling. Now I'm feeling tension in my hip flexor. So this is just such a simple position. Oh, did you hear that? That's a relief in my pain relief, a pop in my neck. So it's a simple posture, but it offers tremendous potential to rehab your whole body because there's so many things working at the same time, right? So I'm getting here, and then you could start to see how strong your foot and toe complex is, because I'm gonna get up on my toes, and then I can let go of all my supports. So now that all the pressure, my whole body is on that left toe area. So it shows how strong the foot and the toe is. Then we can switch, right? So just doing this, if you could just get into this simple posture, it's really gonna start to alleviate some of that ankle pain. So you could explore that. And then, right, so the book, this is from his book. His book is called 7 Postures by Kadour Ziani. And it's $30, but it's worth its weight in gold, because I thought I was an athlete before I learned some of these postures, but after I learned them, I just felt so much more stronger, balanced, especially in my feet, in my toes, in my ankles. So it's $30 on Amazon. I'm sure there might be a digital copy for cheaper, but just check out some of his videos because they'll change your life. I mean, this guy's 50 years old. He's 5'11", and he could still dunk on a 10-foot hoop barefoot, which is insane. But I don't know if there's anyone else who's that old and that short who can dunk that same height. So this is also another posture, right? You get your, kind of jack your leg up there, and then this is stretching the piriformis, and then maybe your glute as well. It gets into this, it's stretching. It also, if you have a different surface, it'll engage your ankle as well. So you start to see how this overlap of different postures just strengthens and rehabs your body. It also helps decompress your spine. So this is something that I do every day and have been doing every day since I checked out his work. So I think will help tremendously. Something else you could search is Ito Portal Squat Clinic. That's Portal. Search Squat Clinic, and look, even here, I'm getting into this deep squat, and he's going to show you how to do just some different movements, right? So if you need an assist, you could have a bench or like the wall or anything that is sturdy, and then you just lean, right? You lean, you get up onto your toes. You could push out here, push out here. Here you're opening up the hips, which can open up the ankle, which can open up the knees, right? So just different variations of some similar ideas and different, right? So it's just different movements you put your body into to help you relieve that pain and strengthen your body. This is another one from Kadour Ziani. This is what is this? This is the camel, I believe, right? So you could see how you start to get your ankles, right? And maybe this posture is uncomfortable in the beginning. It's not supposed to be, right? But where the pain is where the healing can begin. Once you recognize that, right, the pain is a gift. So it took me about maybe a year to get to where I'm able to comfortably relax in this position. So maybe all you can go, maybe the only place you can go is right here, right? Who knows? Maybe you can get right here, but take your time with it, right? Nice and easy. If this is the best you can do, that's the best you can do. That's okay. And then maybe you start to lean forward and then go down. Maybe you start to lean back and go down, right? So just mixing up the postures, taking time with it, nice and easy, to where now you're here, you're gonna be able to go here, and then maybe you're gonna be able to go here, put the toe over, right? So just being relaxed, taking your time, being aware of how your body feels. Don't go past a 1, a 2, a 3, or don't go past a 4 in pain. If your pain's getting up into 4 or 5 with any postures or movement in your body, right? Don't go past, if it's getting significantly painful, you don't want to go too far into pain. You want just enough to have your body talk to your brain, right? So just take your time with all these postures, right? It maybe it could be a little sensitive, but if it's getting into tremendous amounts of pain, you don't want that. Okay, so now the three questions we're out so far. Can I invest in minimalist shoes? My favorite are xeroshoes.com. Then it's can I learn Kadour Ziani 7 postures. Number 3 is can I learn Ido Portal Squat Clinic, and Squat Clinic is Squat Clinic 2.0. What else? One-legged balance. One-legged balance, especially with the use of an RMT rope, is really going to improve your ability, right? So your ability to get in one-legged balance and use an RMT rope to further challenge your balance, timing, rhythm, and coordination is so timeless. So if you, this is just some line from a West Marine, but any local hardware store will have a piece of rope that you can cut to about your own length, right? The length of your body. And then once you get it, you can duct tape the ends, or you can what's called whip the ends, which is basically you take a needle and some line and you secure them. And you want to do that so that the line doesn't start to fray and deteriorate. So basically all you do is you get some rope, and then you start to get into one-legged balance, and then you're breathing. And then you could do one hand, right? Move around with one hand, right? So maybe, hopefully, pain isn't too much, right? If pain is 3 or 4 or 5, maybe you put 60% pressure on your bad ankle, and then the rest pressure here, and then maybe you get to where it's 50-50, and then you could get to where it's now 60-40. Then you get to where it's 70-30, and then slowly but surely you get to a point where you could put all the pressure on the leg. So now you're still breathing, swinging this around, breathing. Same for the other side, right? So it's low impact. It's a progression. You want to start to diagnose your own pain in your body, because sometimes people are injured, but they don't. The injury causes paralysis, so they don't know how to rehab their body at home, which is understandable. But what this RMT rope does, it begins to work as a tool for self-diagnosis, because as you swing it around, or let's say you're swinging around, and then let's say you've got like a little bit of pain in your ankle, you can say, oh, okay, now I feel that ankle talking to me, let's see what I can do with it, right? So you say, okay, maybe I can do, right, like I said, maybe I could put 10% pressure on it. Okay, let's try. And you try, pain isn't above 1 or 2, okay, now let's try 20% pressure. So now you put a little more pressure, okay, can I put 30%, right? So the RMT rope acts as not only a meditation tool, as a movement tool, but it's self-diagnosis for you to begin to move and understand how your body feels. And then not to mention, as you start to learn different movement patterns, you're going to improve your running technique, your movement, your running mechanics, your explosiveness, your balance, timing, rhythm, coordination, all that fun stuff. I just noticed as I started using an RMT rope, my juggling improved, which improved my passing, my shooting, my finishing on goal, as well as my agility. I just felt like I could move more dangerously on the field, and I was much smoother. I remember one time I trained with an Olympic sprint coach. His name's Michael Gardner out of Massachusetts, and he said, you're a choppy runner. And this was before I knew how to use this RMT rope, and I just noticed how it just changes the way you bend and twist your spine in relation to your running. So, right, so the inventor, David Weck, or I should say the pioneer, David Weck, says if you can only learn one pattern, you want to learn the alternating underhand sneak, because it teaches you how to whip your arms down and pop your leg up, which is going to help you improve your jumping and your running mechanics. But that's something to look forward to. That happens down the line. But that's why I've been, telling soccer players this is one of the most powerful tools any soccer player could use in terms of movement and strength and coordination and balance. So let me cut it off there, because now you have 4 things to think about. Can I invest in a pair of Minimalist shoes? Can I learn Kadour Ziani 7 postures? Can I learn Ido Portal squat clinic? And then can I invest in a cheap RMT rope? So hopefully some of these ideas help. Reach out with any questions. All right, thank you. Oh, last but not least, ROKP. Search ROKP by Ben Patrick. That's knees over toes guy, because ROKP stands for reversing out of knee pain. But even though it's knee pain focused, it'll also rehab your ankles, because it puts your toes in a favorable position, right? When you go from here to here, this is going to strengthen, and you take this step right here, that's going to strengthen and rehab your toes, which is going to help rehab your ankles. So if you have access to a treadmill, if you got a treadmill at home, if you have a bunch of loop rubber bands, like big loop resistance bands that you can wrap around your stomach and secure, or wrap around your back and secure it to something strong, something stable, you could just start to walk backwards, and then you walk forwards. Right? Walk backwards, walk forwards. If you've got a cable machine and a belt, you can do the same thing. You walk backwards, and then you walk forwards. Or a treadmill turned off. Or you pull a sled backwards, and then maybe you push it forwards. Right? All of these are variations of the same idea, which is low impact ways to strengthen your lower body from the ground up. So one more time, that's can I learn Ben Patrick's ROKP, knees over toes guides, reversing out of knee pain. So give these a try. Reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.